The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys! This is Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Invisalign, trusted by over 500 NFL players for their winning smiles. And broadcasting live from Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star. Now, your host, Nicole Hutchison.
Wake up, Cowboys Nation. Welcome in to Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Invisalign in the SWBC studio. Nicole Hutchison, Brianna Aldridge, Christy Scales, Aisha Morrison. We back, ladies.
What?
Okay, y'all need to try that.
Look at Bree.
I'm also tired.
Bree said, I'm here.
I'm fed up.
I'm alive.
We need to have a little bit more energy. Okay. Are y'all ready? Let's try this again. Welcome back, ladies. How y'all doing? It's been a minute.
It has been a little while, hasn't it?
It's a long while.
Yes. We're so excited to be here, Nicole.
That, you know what? A little bit better.
We ice skated here.
We did.
Yeah,
absolutely
slippery out there for me.
Baby, if you ain't got
Wake
all
up!
the drive.
Thank you, Chris. Finally, somebody.
Cold too.
My energy.
Scarf is staying on for this first segment.
I'm
Until I
screaming.
feel better.
It's
You're
cold.
sick.
I'm cold.
Yeah, we should tell everybody that when here at the Star, when you look outside, the two outdoor practice fields, one of them is natural grass and one of them is the artificial surface. The one that's the artificial surface is still like frozen over. You know,
Literally.
it looks like snow, but it's ice underneath. It's the crunchy kind when you walk on. The grass field finally thawed out as of Tuesday late afternoon, but most of the artificial surface one still looks like looks like frozen tundra out there.
I came here over the weekend, and both sides were like, it was beautiful though. Like it was entirely covered by the snow. So hope y'all were safe out there.
I think it's so pretty when it snows. I've lived in 3 states where it snows continuously, and I'm just like, it's so pretty. But when you got to work and you got to drive in it, it's not very pretty. That's when it becomes annoying.
people
This don't
slip and
count.
slide, and it's crazy.
That's why I say this don't count, though, because it's a lie.
That part.
It's
It
not
looked
snow.
pretty.
But it ain't real snow.
Anybody?
That ice is
It's
real.
ice underneath.
Yeah.
All right, well, a lot of news happened during the time we were not here, but that's what makes this fun because now we got a lot of stuff to talk about. Y'all ready? All right. The Cowboys now have 8 Pro Bowlers officially heading into this Pro Bowl because they have 3 guys that were added: CeeDee Lamb, Jake Ferguson, Cavante Turpin as alternate selections. Just shout out to them. Ladies, thoughts on those guys being added real fast? Anything?
It's amazing. CD has tied Michael Irvin for the most Pro Bowls by a Cowboys wide receiver. First of all, I'm shocked that Michael only had 5. But, wow, I mean, kudos to him. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And that just really caught my attention. And good for Ferg, too, happy. And Cavante really more going as a return specialist, but he plays wide receiver as well. So you could say that 3 of the Cowboys' top 4 wide receivers are in the Pro Bowl this year. Of course, George Pickens being a selection.
Yeah, that's the first thing that I thought. I mean, I know, like you said, what he's listed as, speaking of Turpin, but I think having those 3 guys out there, energy, just having fun, and the Pro Bowl has changed so much over the years and what people think about it, trying to prevent injuries and things like that. It just looks like a bunch of kids who love the game running around and then being able to be coached by some of the best. And to think that many people from this organization get to be there, regardless of how they get their alternates and things like that. But no, I like to watch it. It's like watching kids in a candy store, pretty much playing games I've never seen. Activities. It looks fun. I've never been.
Anything? Nope. Shout out to them. Congrats. That's it. All right, bet.
Good for them.
All right. Simple and straight to the point. All right. Cowboys also hired their defensive coordinator. Dang, we ain't been here that long.
Oh, yeah.
I was thinking that.
That's crazy.
It didn't went down.
Because we were, I think it just came out the day after we all kind of gave our picks.
Late afternoon, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, end of the day.
Yeah,
How long
we
it's
ain't been
been?
here. And the Alaska came, and
It took us away.
so we got a whole new DC.
But guess what? We back. And we got a new DC. Christian Parker as the new defensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys. 34 years old. Talk about a little bit about him. His secondary has been top 8 pass defense in 3 of the past 5 seasons. And the Super Bowl season for Philly, they gave up the fewest passing yards. That was 2024. But Aisha, I feel like you mentioned it on the last show that we had, that you were looking for them to hire Christian Parker. What was your first initial reactions when they hired.
I was like, come on, Dallas.
Screaming.
Okay, look at y'all getting advantageous.
That part.
You know, taking chances. And it, you know, I think what reassured me, too, was we had the pleasure of listening to Will McClay and Stephen Jones talk at the Senior Bowl. Obviously, the brass is there. And just some of their comments, I mean, listening to Stephen Jones, he described the coaching search currently just outside of the D.C. is very thorough. I think why I wanted Parker is because of the reputation. I mean, people have talked about him, and you can see the lineage and his ability to coach, but then also, too, when you listen around the league and listen to people talk about him, it's all about the teaching. It's about the flexibility. And we've seen his scheme at work. We've seen, I mean, Dak diced him up, but still, we've seen his scheme at work and what he's capable of doing. Now, one thing that stood out with Stephen Jones, though, is that we know that Parker was under Vic Fangio. And so I think some of the questions is the scheme going to be similar, things like that. I mean, Stephen Jones sounded very confident that there should be some similarities, but they do expect for Parker to put his own spin on kind of his scheme and things like that. So I think that I like the fact that Dallas feel like they found a guy and they went after it. They were certain. And like I said, it sounds like they really tried to flesh out this process. I mean, you hear Will McClay talk about the process. He said it was incredible. He said that it was great for everyone to be in alignment. Have y'all heard him say that as of late? I mean,
it's very effusive for Will. I think
because because y'all have heard Will McClay talk.
Yeah,
he don't give you too much, but there were little like nuances in his interview that let me know that this process of bringing these coaches together, starting with Christian Parker, is something that everyone's kind of involved in and that they're enjoying and fleshing out the process. Go ahead.
It also sounds like this is probably the most excited they've been.
They seem excited
because when you listen back to Stephen Jones, I think he used outstanding about 4 or 5 times.
I was shocked
because I don't remember hearing Stephen Jones say no outstanding. All right, but yeah, I mean they obviously gave credit to Shotty because they wanted to give Shotty that opportunity to I guess, showcase his vision, but also have his vision kind of align with the other DCs and who they bring in. So I thought that was kind of the most impressive thing. Chrissy, what you got?
But yeah, it's just a deviation from how they've done things previously. And it shows, we talked a little bit about it last week, it shows how involved Shotty is in the process and how much they're listening. But and by that I mean the upper brass, listening to the input. But you could say the same thing last year, like the friends that I'm closest to and football ops and player personnel were genuinely so enthusiastic last year about the process of Shotty bringing in the staff members.
Oh, I was excited.
Yeah,
too.
and that and how the search went outside the normal purview.
Yeah.
And by that, think about the offensive coaches that Shotty brought in, where you have the Connor Rileys from Kansas State, from college, Junior Adams from University of Oregon, Clayton Adams. I mean, what a great hire. There were no ties necessarily that Shotty had to those guys, where usually in the NFL, people are pulling people with them, right? They're taking the guys that they've had. Like Eberflus brought in Dave Borgonzi and Andre Carter and Overstreet and stuff like that. And by the way, we should thank them for, their kindness to us. We did lose some coaches. They lost their jobs.
Yeah.
And their families are having to move. And that's a tough thing. And but it's just been very different the last year in the way the Joneses and the head coach are filling out the staff. It's very noticeable.
Yeah, I think the approach is what's the most exciting part. I can't really speak to how Stephen Jones talks. I mean, I feel like all the coaches, to be fair, at this time of the season, especially when you have the type of draft picks they have coming up here, and what they were able to build on the defensive line, even though later in the season. I think that's what stood out to me the most, what Stephen Jones was talking about the building blocks. I know when Kenny Clark came over, there was no secret that there is money due to this man again and what's coming against the cap next season. But just to hear, really before even asked about him, Stephen Jones kind of said, like, included him in the building blocks of how they're moving forward. So that really caught my attention. So I'm like, whew, that's one thing we don't have to worry about this offseason, because it almost sounds like that was the selling point to Christian Parker, if you will. But then it was like, okay, we got these other guys. And speaking of the corners, we've heard Stephen Jones talk about, not great. DBs overall, not great. And I think he came in here prepared for his interview, and I think that's what impressed them, that he wasn't just, okay, this is what I do, da-da-da. He found a way to work in what is actually on the roster right now to fit, and how he can make them better is how I was reading. Shout out to Nick Sar's Telegram, who had a really good piece, and that stood out to me as well, because this guy's, I almost said kid, he's older than me. He's 34 years old. Like, he's the youngest candidate they interviewed, and that's what's impressive the most, because the Cowboys really did go outside of their comfort zone, and this has, and I know they said, Schottenheimer had a lot of influence on Matt Eberflus. I'm still not really sold on that. And it sounds good, and I know you guys got to be this united front, but like, this actually seems like all the candidates that you saw, and even them, Leonard was a big, name that was thrown out there, and they kind of had to wait. That impressed me the most too. They just went with like this Christian Parker was so impressive that he kind of stole the show, and now they're bringing in guys that he has connections to him, who kind of change up other things, especially talking about the linebackers thing. I know we'll talk about that, right? I know Aisha's excited to talk about that too. But no, I think a lot of credit goes to Schottenheimer, because it has his blueprint all over it. This doesn't happen without him speaking up, voicing up, and speaking to the three other gentlemen who lost their jobs. There was no part of this defensive scheme last year that you could really advocate to why those men would be able to stay, and I know these are men first with families and things like that, but I think that speaks volumes as to Shotty being like, okay, we need a revamp.
Yeah, that's fair.
Or Parker, or Parker, like, because that's what you get to do. He big dog now, he ain't no puppy. He get to say, no, he has a vision, and that's what I took from what Stephen Jones was saying. He said, he said that Shotty has a vision for what kind of defense he wants to have, the personality he wants it to have. He said that Shotty wanted the defense to fit the offense that the Cowboys have. He called Christian Parker very, very smart and a great communicator and an outstanding teacher, and he said he's excited about the ways he's going to find ways to get pressure for Dallas.
And in the press conference, when Schottenheimer was asked a couple weeks ago, what do you want in defensive coordinator, what was the first thing he said? Teacher, communicator, and then, to your point, more about the scheme and things like that. And look, the proof is in the pudding. Now, Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean, great players but young guys, but look at how fast they've come. This is who Christian Parker coached under Fangio in Philadelphia. Reed Blankenship, their safety, look at the jump that he made in his career in the last few years. Blankenship, by the way, is a free agent.
Sertan.
They're all pros.
So anyway, when you have a guy like a Revel who is going into his second year, and I'm not saying that he's going to be the next Quinyon Mitchell or Cooper DeJean. Of course, Cooper plays on the inside in the slot. But, if you can get – it shows that Parker can develop young players, and you absolutely have to have that on the defensive side of the ball for the Cowboys, because so many resources financially are committed to offense that you have to develop the young guys, particularly on the defensive side of the ball.
There's a lot of I was just saying there's a lot of pressure, I think, too, on Parker coming in here. It was the pressure was on for anybody taking that position. But I think, to Christy's point, so deep in the season, after every game talking about the defense, it was communication's got to be better between the players and the coaches, and just the coaches delivering it to the field, and technique. I think at least if this does not go as planned, I think at least you're not hearing communication issues and technique issues after every game. That's what gives me confidence.
Because it was the same thing every single week.
Yeah,
pretty much.
I don't expect for us to.
No, you're good. Go ahead. You don't expect what?
I don't expect for us to see the amount of miscommunications and things like that. I feel like he's really going to hone in on the details of what they want this defense to be. To Christy's point about the development, it's the secondary has struggled. I mean, I feel like going into the playoffs, even those playoff years, those 12 and 5 years, I think maybe 1 year you were fully healthy, but out of those other years, you were asking guys to come off the couch. I mean, Xavier Rhodes, you were literally calling on guys. So this, to your point, is, Christy, the development of these guys, but also, too, I think that, to your point, Bree, he a little crazy. I don't think he's afraid of the challenge. I think he's excited for the challenge. Just look at how he has moved up the ranks in the short amount of time he has. This is somebody that is devoted, and also, too, he knows what he wants. And I remember we were talking about, was this job appealing? To someone like him, probably.
Oh yeah.
He likes a challenge, and you can tell that he likes a challenge. So I'm glad. I think they picked the right guy.
And I want to shout him out as well because he also coached at Virginia State, Norfolk State.
Bum, bum,
Hello.
bum, bum.
Also a fellow Noop as well. Come on, Greek life.
I'm done.
Had to just shut him out a little bit. But I want to make sure that we go over some of the coaches that the Cowboys have interviewed for the defensive assistants, and also they're scheduled to interview. Shout out Nick Harris from the Fort Worth Star-Telegram, because he's always up to date with.
That's two shout outs for Nick this
He's
week.
been doing. He's been killing it. He's been killing it.
But no, the Cowboys have interviewed New York Giants former DC Shane Bowen, Pittsburgh outside linebackers coach Denzel Martin, Eagles assistant linebackers coach Ronald Williams, Vikings defensive line coach Marcus Dixon, and scheduled to interview, per Nick Harris, former Baltimore Ravens DC Zach Orr. I'm screaming.
I want to hear
Get
what Christy
excited.
has to say about that.
Who has experience with Shoddy in 2021. Jacksonville, of course, native of DeSoto and a graduate of North Texas. I know Kyle Yeomans is very happy about that. Also spent 2 seasons with Baltimore before being relieved of his duties. They've also scheduled to interview, per Nick Harris, Arizona Cardinals cornerbacks coach Ryan Smith, who was given an opportunity to interview with other teams, of course. But Arizona was his first NFL stop. He was hired in 2023, spent 9 seasons before that at the collegiate level, and worked under, of course, Kurt Cognetti, who just won the national championship and was undefeated this year. So, out of all those guys, I got out of breath a little bit. Well, out of those guys, what's impressed you the most about the staff that you are seeing Christian Parker try to put together so far? Christy?
Well, it's certainly wide.
Yeah,
It's a wide net.
net.
It's a wide net, and I think that's important. But it's just what we were talking about last year with Schottenheimer and filling out his staff, particularly on the offensive side of the ball, because Flus brought a lot of his guys in. But I do like that. Bowen and Orr are the names that I'm personally am most familiar with, and a lot of that is because of Zach's local ties and things like that. But if you can bring some of that Raven defensive magic, I'm all for that. Frankly, I'm not as familiar, Cardinals and some of, but there'll be some product knowledge on staff because Clayton Adams was there. So there's enough resources here with the ties. And I think the most important thing is when and part of this process, we talk about Schottenheimer's input. The guys on offense know what the Eagles were doing on defense and have a respect for that, right? They know what makes it most difficult.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. So I think that's a big part of it.
Even a
as well.
Fangio defense. I mean, we saw Dak Prescott early in his career struggle with
Absolutely.
Big Fangio and dealing with just some of the looks he would show him post snap and stuff like that. So hopefully the scheme will also make the offense better. But what I took from the gentleman that they're interviewing, it's they definitely want to upgrade at the linebacker spot.
Yep.
They definitely, because when you look at the Vikings, when you look at the Ravens, a lot of those guys, they do. I wonder, we were talking about it on another show I was on, it's like, are we going to see a change in this defensive scheme as far as like the fronts and then what they decide to do alignment-wise and stuff? I think that they're trying to focus on, they see that linebacker and corner were a weakness, and they want...
Please.
They trying to fix it. I like it though. At least they're recognizing, like as we talked about, the like going through the process. They interviewed for the DC job. They interviewed a lot of gentlemen who are focused predominantly on the secondary. Good. I love the self-awareness. That's something that you feel like you really need to focus on. So from looking at the other guys that they've been looking at, the outside linebacker coach for Baltimore. What's the gentleman's name? I forgot.
What are you talking about?
From where?
From where?
Baltimore.
Oh, sorry, I'm going to. Zach Orr.
Is that, no.
What are you talking about?
Was it Steelers? I lied.
Is Denzel Martin.
Denzel Martin.
like, wait.
Now, Denzel Martin, I have heard great things about him, but when you look at the Steelers scheme and some of the stuff they have their defensive ends doing, these guys are dropping into coverage sometimes. These guys are affecting zones. These guys are showing and going. Yeah, we might see some scheme changes, y'all.
Oh yeah.
We might see some real scheme changes, and with that, like what I can't wait to see what we're gonna end up drafting like.
Well, that's and that's the whole thing about getting in early, and it's like, well, why didn't you wait for Leonard and interview him and things like that? Yeah,
I don't have the patience. I don't got time.
Take too long.
really, because when you're going to Senior Bowl, and we had the Shrine Bowl here on Tuesday night, and I want to hear y'all's thoughts on that. Hopefully, in the next couple segments. You know, you're looking for it. You got to make sure when you're the cook, you should get to choose the ingredients, and the ingredients should match your recipe.
Yeah, and I like Aisha's point about, I think that's going to be the key and one of the biggest difference we saw this season, dropping back into coverage. And I kind of remember talking to DeMarvion Overshone, and he was talking about he takes pride in being, he called himself a Denzel Washington of the team, the actor, like to being able to go and look like you're playing a certain gap, but be able to come out, pull out. And I just think they weren't even able to get to that point because, again, communication,
the fundamentals,
spot. If you watch film, somebody's always not where they're supposed to be, and it doesn't work. So I think that's exciting, and I think getting a guy like, I had him down too, is Denzel Martin, who caught my attention because just what they'll be able to do scheme-wise and the coverages. I mean, this is what Christian Parker is known for, is being able to shake things up. And an old interview came out about him talking about how the coverages look the same to the other side.
Yeah.
That really caught my attention.
That's stuff I like. That's stuff I like.
So, I mean, all of it is, I mean, it's all exciting because it sounds childish, but you really can only go up from here.
It's forward-thinking football. It's forward-thinking football. You are looking at, like, the coaches that they're bringing in are guys that we have seen that are tenured and showing us that they can coach in this NFL, which is different. It's different. I mean, even like we talked about with the Steelers, their run defense is as good as it is because those edges are sound. Those linebackers understand their assignments. They're rangy. I'm excited to just see what the assignments are and what they decide to do. But also, too, one thing that I noticed when I was listening to Stephen Jones and Will McClay was them talking about in the process of the coaches coming in and interviewing, one of the pluses is that you're getting multiple coaches in here, and you're getting perspective about your team.
Oh, absolutely.
And not only that, with these new coaches getting hired, this benefits them in free agency. I did not think about it that way, where he was like, because we're getting these other coaches in that have played in different divisions and played, we have a wider net also in free agency to attack it there. So to your point about is it Martin, Denzel Martin as well? He is also very charismatic, excellent teacher, known for his ability to get the most out of his players. And I'm like, that sounds like Christian Parker. That sounds like the energy that Shoddy wants to have. So it's kind of a collective effort in trying to get similar-minded guys, similar energy guys in here, so there's not like a break in the consistency when these guys are getting coaches on the different sides of the ball.
Yeah, I want to make sure before we take our first break, we do wish the best of luck to Aaron Whitecotton, who is taking an opportunity with the Titans. Cornerbacks coach David Overstreet, former linebackers coach Dave Bergonzi, as well. Those guys have departed from the team or have been released. So best of luck to them as they try to find their next steps in the careers. But we gotta take our first break here. Up next, we're gonna break down a couple of guys in the Shrine Bowl and the Senior Bowl, all that good stuff up next here on Girls Talk Boys Talk.
When you're on the field, you know what it takes to lead your team and play with confidence. But that confidence shouldn't just stop at game time. It should follow you off the field, too. Join over 500 NFL players who trust Invisalign, the #1 doctor-recommended clear aligner brand. Ready to take the first step towards a smile you'll love? Visit Invisalign.com/NFL and find a doctor near you today. Transform your smile and take your confidence to the next level, both on the field and off.
Discover Aiden, the official luggage partner of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Known for top-tier engineering and craftsmanship, Aiden offers more than just bags. Originating from Australia and designed in New York, it merges fashion, design, and culture. Used by Dallas Cowboys players, staff, and the entire organization, Aiden provides style and functionality for all travelers. Visit AidenTheBrand.com and use code AidenXCowboys for 25% off your purchase. Travel like your favorite stars with Aiden.
How does the cheerleader's hair always look so perfect? We asked, and they shared one of their biggest beauty secrets. If you want hair like theirs and confidence to match, use Babyliss Pro styling tools. The Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders use Babyliss Pro curling irons to get those perfect game day curls. To get the hair you see on the cheerleaders, head to BabylissPro.com. Use the code Cowboys20 for 20% off Babyliss Pro tools, the official styling tools of the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Get the discount while it lasts. Offer may be withdrawn at any time at advertiser's discretion.
All right, Cowboys fans, this one's for us. If the men in your life bleed blue and silver like we do, I've found the perfect way to elevate their game day rituals. Gillette just released their best razor in Cowboys colors, and it is everything a Cowboys fan could want. The new Gillette Labs official Dallas Cowboys licensed razor combines his Cowboys pride with Gillette's best shave. And with 50% longer lasting blades, it is truly the gift that keeps on giving. Get it while you can at Gillette.com/NFL. Gillette's best shave is also available as heated.
Cowboys Nation, Tom Gibson has been named your 2025 Dallas Cowboys Fan of the Year, presented by Captain Morgan for his dedication to the team and spicing up the game. Vote for Tom to be named the ultimate NFL Fan of the Year at NFL.com/Fan of the Year.
Welcome back into Girls Talk Boys Talk, presented by Invisalign in the SWBC studio. Nicole Hutchison, Brianna Aldridge, Christy Scales, Aisha Morrison, and shout out to Luna Wills for winning in the East-West Shrine Bowl as the head coach. They had like a little Gatorade shower as well. That was pretty cool. I know he's very excited. I know, as
He's got
continues.
interviews coming up.
I'm sick.
Yeah.
People take for granted
For offensive
the development that, or I won't say the key development that he's played a role in for, Brevin Spanford, Jake Ferguson, Luke, those guys. What y'all think about if Lunda were to get an opportunity somewhere else as an OC?
I'm just wondering who his replacement would be. I feel like Lunda has been able to survived. You know, like we just talked about 3 coaches having to go bye-bye after a new regime, and he's been able to stick around because he's not only is Luna Wells, keyed in with the tight ends, he also works with the offensive line sometimes as well. He's well versed in that as well. So you kind of get you gotta get the double dip. But I think I want Luna to exceed, so if he gets a better opportunity, then of course he takes it. But to me, what would open up the door for me is tight end is a position that we ain't really talked about in the draft yet. But I'm gonna be messy and bring it up because it sounds like
messy.
Maybe we need to.
We're messy on this lovely Thursday.
Maybe we need to talk about it a little bit.
Let's go.
Be messy. Talk about the tight end. Yep. I think Brevin Spanford need more snaps. And what the heck is Luke Schoonmaker at this point? What is he? He's not a contributor, not a regular one. So what is he? What the heck is Luke? What the heck is Hunter Lipke? They did all that money.
I was gonna go
for decoration.
Please. The Schoonmaker thing. What does he have? I think he's good till 2027. But it seems like the way this offense is going, to your point, it did feel like Brevin Spanford had those little flashes, because the snaps do have to go elsewhere. And then you sign a fullback, surprisingly, to this nice size contract that you barely saw him out there too. It seems like once they obviously get staffed up that I feel like Schoonmaker might not be on this team next season just because he's not going to be here in 2027. And it feels like when we're talking about the foundation and moving forward, like why not?
They're going to draft the tight end. I can feel it in my toes.
What you think?
It might be a later guy. I'm gonna get
I think there's other
into it,
needs.
but I think that they would. Yeah, it's not a need,
Yeah.
but you need to. That's nothing I took from what Stephen and Will McClay were talking about yesterday. They said even though we are focusing on the defense, we still have to continue to build the offense.
Absolutely.
We still need depth. We still need pieces there. So I expect for them to still attack. You know, trying to figure out some of these offensive guys, and even in some of the draft talks that I've had, you know, with Brian Broaddus and some of those gentlemen, it's like, hey, what if the board falls and it's an offensive player? What are you going to be okay with?
Yeah.
You know, they didn't
And
think
talked
CD
about
was
that
going
at
to
the
fall.
end of
Oh,
the
you think
season
you're going to take a wide receiver if they sign at Pickens? I'm about to throw up.
Hey, that was a great move to take
Another
CD. What if you'd have let him slide by? And everyone would be, you could have had CD Lamb.
I mean, yeah, that's
You know?
it's,
No,
it's,
really.
Can't win.
Yeah.
it's fair, but at the same time,
I mean, Stephen Jones at the end of the season presser said that, like, you know, it's no secret where this team is looking forward to build and where they needed, but he was like, you know what, at the end of the day, you never know what could happen. And he brought up CeeDee Lamb example, you know, saying, what if, you know, that doesn't happen and we're looking at the way. I know it's just
they're going to get a tackle, ain't they? They're gonna, but what if they got running back? What if they took a running back? That
Well,
Actually,
but see, by then you
It's only
probably
one.
would have made a decision on whether you're going to bring Javante back, right? That'll be a serious monetary.
I mean, there's only
commitment
one
there.
that I think is worthy of a 12, and that's Love. That's Jeremiah Love.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Yeah, but at 20, or if you trade back from 20 and pick up some extra capital.
tight end is interesting, y'all, because
Yeah.
we got to keep an eye on whether Lunda comes back. That's going to shake up shake up things a lot, and who. I would be interested to see who it is that Shoddy decides to go find.
Yeah, well, would you be surprised? You know, because we're like, we didn't see enough of Brevin Spanford. He was on the field for a fourth of the plays.
Baby, he was.
And Ferguson for 2/3 of the plays, and Schoonmaker for 1/3 of the plays.
Well, Brevin
So,
Spanford is
you know,
one of
they
the
do
best
a lot
special
of
teams
12
players.
and
Yes.
Special teams? How did you feel about him on
Oh,
special
he was
teams?
the best special teams player.
Yeah.
Other
Shoddy said it too.
He
you
said
know,
it too.
Brandon
Shoddy said
Aubrey,
it too.
other than Brandon Aubrey and Brian Anger,
Yeah.
and Trent Sig, they always do their jobs so well. But Brevin Spanford was a revelation on special teams. He's so big, but he moves down the field. I mean, he just had some monster hits too. That dude, you want to see him more. So let's throw the ball more to Brevin Spanford. I agree,
Yeah.
but there's only one ball to go around. That's
Yeah.
less to Ferd.
And I think the
It's
injury in
less-
camp, I know so long ago, but like he was in a boot the whole
Yeah.
time we saw him out there. I think that had a lot to do with him not, you know, getting seen early. And you need that when you have as many, like you said, other guys you can throw the ball to and who were getting the ball because they were healthy.
All right, let's get to let's start with
Shrine Bowl.
Shrine Bowl, Senior Bowl. Which I want.
Let's use Shrine.
I bet Shrine
Yeah, we do home stuff.
All right, home
The
stuff.
house.
Shrine Bowl, East West Shrine Bowl. So here's the catch. There were a lot of guys that came in here. 54 departed. 54 departed. Let me just note that. One of the guys that I did have my eye on before he departed and did not play in the East West Shrine Bowl was linebacker out of LSU, Harold Perkins, who I felt had the most versatility because they used him as a linebacker, but they also, he was an edge before the start of his career, moved out to linebacker. He's got a lot of speed, elite instincts as well, and he can also cover very well. And when beaten, he does have like that good recovery speed. So I saw a little bit of that in the practices. In the game, who stood out to me was Cole Wisniewski. I've been struggling with his last name. He's a DB out of Texas Tech. He had a PBU in the red zone and also an almost interception in the red zone in that first drive of the game. He's about 6'4", 220. He has the ability to play the run. Hello. That's what we're looking for. He also can quickly diagnose things, and he plays really sticky coverage. That was something that I noted as well in his college career. 2025, he had 6 PBUs, a forced fumble, one fumble recovery, and 78 tackles in 2025. Mason Rieger was an edge that I liked. He had, he had 2 sacks. A sack in team sessions, a strip sack in the game, and also a regular sack. And that's about it. Yeah, those were a couple of guys that I had my eyes out on. Now, will they be necessarily Cowboys picks? No, but I feel like they could be possibly day 2, day 3 pick somewhere else. I don't know. Maybe the Cowboys do pick them in undrafted free agents.
You know, here's a little hint on how interested they're going to be in these guys. Are any of them going to be 30 visits?
Also, too.
So watch
yeah.
for that. Watch for that. Who are they bringing in on their 30 visits? And that's a little later in the process, but that the word will leak out. There'll be reports on who's coming in.
That's fair.
And that's how you'll know.
Yeah, and also pay attention to, I mean,
Dallas State.
Beamer taught me this during the draft, and what I learned during the draft is, Dallas Day is huge. You know, you got to I'll be creeping on seeing who from the Metroplex or in the Texas area, because those guys, Dallas really values getting to get like a second or third look at those guys. You mentioned Mason Rager. One thing that I liked about Rieger, Ray?
I believe it's Rieger.
I
believe it's Rieger.
I think it's Rieger too. He caused a lot of chaos. I really liked how you would see him, rushing the passer, but also still playing the run. His awareness is good, and I think that's something that stood out as well. Another gentleman from the Shrine Bowl, Ayo, he's gonna get a lot of people's attention. USC linebacker Eric Gentry. He made. He
departed, man.
He departed, but he's very talented.
He is.
He was there. He was there in practice. These guys. Unfortunately, a lot of these guys feel like they practice. They can have a good day of practice. They can go to the house. So that's just how it is. It's
sick.
Christy, how do you feel about that? How different is that for you? As somebody who's been around for a while.
Well, old school scouting, that would be a red flag.
Yeah.
But now it's just kind of an accepted thing. It's even like the guys who don't play or finishing their college careers and don't play in the bowl games or whatever, to focus on the draft. But personally, I'm old school. Get off my lawn kind of person. So I don't like that at all. But at the same time, you got to do what's right for yourself. And I don't think it's the red flag that it used to be.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I necessarily don't like it, because it's like, I won't say it. Let me say this nicely. You got invited to the Shrine Bowl, take advantage of it. Like, at any given moment, granted, you could be, I know some guys don't like to play in the bowl game because you can risk injury, but it's also like you play in a sport where you're risking injury every single day, And so this is an opportunity to go out there and showcase, your skills, showcase your position flexibility, like, take advantage of it, not just go and talk to the scouts and dip and go home.
And it's selfish. You took a spot from somebody else, and you didn't play in the game.
That's fair. I mean, and also too with practices, like I said, like these guys, we're gonna see some guys this week with Senior Bowl. They gonna whoop some ass day 1, day 2, day 3, and they not playing in the game. They think that they have enough and they've done what they came to do. I agree with you, because that's another thing too, is that it does to me hurt your teammates in some sense as well. I think it's important, especially with the quarterbacks. We don't really see them leave as much. They typically play the game, but those wide receivers need that time. A lot of these guys, you need to be trying to get as much work as possible, but I do understand, they be nervous to risk it for the biscuit. I get both sides risk.
It's the way the system is set up.
Yeah.
So make a rule. If you set it up like
got rules for everything else.
Don't complain. Don't complain. Change the rule if you don't like the way it's being done.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Gentry is a gentleman that I think. Let me look. Christy's sick of him. Gentry is a gentleman that I think is going to get people's attention just with his length. I mean, this guy's 6'6". The way that he's able. Well, my bad. His wingspan is insane. The playmaking ability. I think that his speed, his ability to get from sideline to sideline, he tackles incredibly well in space. He showed that in practice. I don't know what Dallas is going to do at the linebacker position. I would think that maybe they would bring somebody in free agency and maybe draft a guy. And if they bring someone in free agency, maybe they don't pick up a guy as early. Maybe this is a gentleman that they're interested in some of the later rounds, especially since the coaches got to get a extra look at him with so many guys on the staff being here. Well, actually, never mind. We might have a new linebacker coach. Just kidding.
I'm sick of you.
Just kidding.
We're going to take our second break here on Girls Talk, Boys Talk. Up next, we're going to dive into some Senior Bowl standouts up next here on the show. We'll be right back with more Girls Talk, Boys Talk.
Discover Aiden, the official luggage partner of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Known for top-tier engineering and craftsmanship, Aiden offers more than just bags. Originating from Australia and designed in New York, it merges fashion, design, and culture. Used by Dallas Cowboys players, staff, and the entire organization, Aiden provides style and functionality for all travelers. Visit AidenTheBrand.com and use code AidenXCowboys for 25% off your purchase. Travel like your favorite stars with Aiden.
When you're on the field, you know what it takes to lead your team and play with confidence. But that confidence shouldn't just stop at game time. It should follow you off the field, too. Join over 500 NFL players who trust Invisalign, the #1 doctor-recommended clear aligner brand. Ready to take the first step towards a smile you'll love? Visit Invisalign.com/NFL and find a doctor near you today. Transform your smile and take your confidence to the next level, both on the field and off.
Cowboys fans, when it comes to navigating the ever-changing world of tax, your business needs a partner it can trust to tackle even your biggest tax challenges. Ryan is the largest firm in the world dedicated exclusively to business taxes. Our team of tax professionals has local expertise in all areas of tax and can help you uncover savings opportunities you didn't know you had. Learn more about how Ryan can improve your overall corporate tax performance by visiting Ryan.com. Ryan, the official tax partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
How does the cheerleader's hair always look so perfect? We asked, and they shared one of their biggest beauty secrets. If you want hair like theirs and confidence to match, use Babyliss Pro styling tools. The Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders use Babyliss Pro curling irons to get those perfect game day curls. To get the hair you see on the cheerleaders, head to BabylissPro.com. Use the code Cowboys20 for 20% off Babyliss Pro tools, the official styling tools of the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Get the discount while it lasts. Offer may be withdrawn at any time at advertiser's discretion.
Cowboys Nation, Dallas Cowboys United, presented by Globe Life, is exclusively in the Dallas Cowboys app. Join the official fan club today to receive access to Cowboys Drops, where you can win game tickets, autographed items, exclusive experiences, and more. Download the app to join now.
Welcome back into Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Invisalign. Nicole Hutchison, Brianna Aldridge, Christy Scales, Aisha Morrison, and we got breaking news, ladies! Woo-hoo. Wake up! Finally. All right, per Joe Hoyt, the Cowboys are expected to hire Cardinals cornerbacks coach Ryan Smith. He helped Arizona allow the fewest passing touchdowns in the NFL the final 11 games in 2024. And we actually just talked about Ryan Smith earlier in that last segment. But Christy, you got a chance to interview Kurt Cignetti, and talk a little bit about that connection as well.
Yeah, so Smith was on his staff there at James Madison, and so got to meet those guys when they were here in Frisco playing at Toyota Stadium in the FCS championship game. That was back when it was, Trey Lance and for North Dakota State and Ben DiNucci for James Madison. But the thing about Smith is previously he had been at as well as James Madison, like Northwestern and Elon and places like that. But he has spent the past 3 years with the Cardinals. So what we were saying back in the first segment is there is some product knowledge within the building, and that Clayton Adams would have spent 2 years with him out there on the opposite side of the ball, going against Smith's DBs each day in practice. So, the thing about Arizona is very under the radar just because they haven't had success the past few years, but it's not because of their defensive backfield. So, I don't know a lot about Ryan, but look forward to meeting him.
Yeah.
And, he's worked his way up, right? He's played and went to school at William and Mary, then went the college coaching route, finally got the chance in the NFL with the Cardinals, made a strong impression here, and is now with America's team. So congratulations.
Congratulations, man. What y'all think, y'all?
I feel like we're living in a different world.
Yeah.
I don't know what's happening.
But I like it.
All these young people and stuff.
I know. I was like, as soon as I clicked on it, like, how old is this man?
These babies' 401ks ain't complete yet.
This might be the youngest coaching roster we got out there.
Just
like,
a whole bunch of nuggets.
I like it, though. I think this team was due for something fresh and new. And, like, just looking across the league about who's finding success this year,
that's what they doing.
It is people with very little head coaching experience.
Seattle took a risk with
What was that?
Mike
two
McDonald.
and
2 seasons ago?
dirty.
Dirty.
Made them their DC.
Yeah.
Look, I mean,
happened?
it's just I mean, I love me some Pete Carroll. I don't know what it is, but I do. But they cleaned house. I was like, hey man, this ain't good enough.
Yeah.
We got to flip this thing, and they turned that thing around. It's doable. People thought
Yeah.
the Rams were dead in the water when they traded away all their picks, went to the Super Bowl and stuff, and they worked their way up. They were strategic about it. They drafted, and here they are. So Dallas can do it. I'm trying not to get too invested.
It's fine. We have a couple months before we get.
can all be
I'm trying not to
locked
get
in.
too
Yeah, before we prick the balloon
Right?
and all the air goes out.
No, the draft gonna tell us a lot though.
That's
They
facts.
ain't gonna.
And free
I hope they don't play around.
Ain't no time to play around. We got stuff to do in 2026. Yeah, hopefully. All right, that's a wrap for the day show.
Yeah.
Cowboys get their new coaching staff. They start off with Christian Parker. They now hire their cornerbacks coach, Ryan Smith. We'll see how the rest unfolds over the next couple of days because I know Stephen Jones did say that they want to at least have the staff kind of ironed out over the next couple of days. So we will see how it all unfolds. But that's a wrap for today's show. For Brianna Aldridge, Christy Scales, Aisha Morrison, I'm Nicole Hutchison. We'll see y'all back here on Monday at 10 a.m.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!